See, you got to understand, you know when they called the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan a black Hitler? Do you understand how Hitler is viewed in this world? See, when you can associate another person with Hitler, that's because you hate that person so much that your desire is to see them dead. And your scheme or your design is to create an atmosphere for their murder or their ultimate demise. To say that Corbyn represents an existential threat to Jewry in the UK means that Corbyn is as bad as Adolf Hitler. And keep associating him with anti-Semitism. See, you know, this same media, they love to talk about hate preachers. There's no greater hate preacher on this planet today than this mass media. They ask the question, where did this person become radicalized? You did it. You media, you did it. Where did this person become radicalized? The British foreign policy. Well, where's the Islamic nation that's ever attacked Britain? Where's the Islamic nation that's ever attacked America? Where is it? But every minute, some foreign adventure. Ships and planes and submarines and all manner of weapons on their way to the Gulf. On their way. They talk about boots on the ground. Talk about punishing regimes. Talk about regime change. See, and then, the terrorism, and by the way, these ragtag few people who pop up now and then, this 28-year-old who they had in prison for 8 years. When I look at the poor, sad individual, he reminds me of some of those misguided ones who come in the park, you know, or follow us around. You're kufr. Shut up, you fool. You've just been brainwashed. They're so, understand this, beloved, as I close. The concept of a programmed individual to carry out acts that they don't even know why they're doing what they're doing. The term that they use for it, and there's a famous movie called The Manchurian Candidate, where people are triggered. Understand? See, I know it's a conspiracy theory. Well, yeah, you can play that game. You will never shut our mouths from talking about the reality of what you do, Satan. And I felt sorry for the poor, unsuspecting people jumping off buses and running, and old ladies. And one woman said her mum was coming from the hospital and they were struggling to get away from this thing that was happening on the bridge and whatever. And you can see people are just thoroughly confused and scared to death. That's why they call it terror. But the terror is being orchestrated. And by the way, it's not about terrorism or even the war on terror. That's already full-blown and ongoing. It's not to promote that. Believe it or not, most of that, what you saw on that bridge the other day, that's squarely aimed at Jeremy Corbyn, the pacifist, the Islamist lover, the one who doesn't want, to alienate the Muslims, the one who would open our borders. Because almost immediately that went down, you saw some stuff that went viral on Twitter saying Corbyn tweeted that, British police have just murdered an innocent man on the bridge. It turns out, of course, that it's a fake tweet, but purporting to come from Jeremy Corbyn. And that went viral. And you got to understand the mentality of people. Man, people just take this stuff in, man. And whenever they talk about this man, they talk about him in those terms. A lover of terrorists. Do you really want a man like that in the office of number 10? They know what they're doing, beloved family. You saw civilians wrestling with this man, and they basically had this man under control from what I could see. The man was on the ground, they had him. The police came. All the police wanted to do is get those people away from him so they could shoot him dead. Oh yeah, but he had a suicide vest on, they couldn't be sure. Shut up. If he had a suicide vest and it was remotely real, then he would have triggered it when he felt that he was losing the fight on the ground. That's the time to go up, because if I wait any longer, then I'm not going to be able to use the thing anyway. So if he's been wrestled, if he's been fought, if somebody's coming with a big fish tusk and all the the police had one job to do, and that was to eliminate that person, because you don't want that person talking after they have been triggered to do what they had to do. And the talk in the media is of the heroism of the police, the heroism. These are the same armed police who shot dead Mark Duggan when he was unarmed. These are the same heroic police who shot Cherry Gross in her house. These are the same heroic police who have been shooting down black people all over the place like it's going out of fashion for years. See, you can put that small time stuff over on people who don't know you. But we've had experience of you. We know you. We know what you do. As a young boy growing up in this country, I was framed by the police. Listen to what they framed me with. They said I was in possession of 14 offensive weapons with the intention to cause injury to persons or persons unknown. That was during the era of sus, suspicious person. And all the items that they say were weapons, they was just ordinary bits and pieces of things that we had in a van, me and a few of my friends. No weapons, nothing designed to be a weapon. Bits of plastic coated copper wire. But we were in possession of 14 offensive weapons with the intention to cause injury to persons or persons unknown. Convicted. Pure lies. Next charge, that I was framed by the... See, I'm telling you this because I want you to understand. See, they were framing us as young children. Young children on nothing. You think they're not going to frame people on terrorism? Let's talk about those IRA, so-called IRA men who served all that time and died in prison and then were exonerated, and it was proved that the police lied. Let's talk about that, because there are so many cases. So you can talk about the heroism and how wonderful that. Please, what was the second charge? Attempted theft from persons or persons unknown. No evidence, nothing. Policeman said, I saw them trying to steal. I'm saying, no, I didn't. Yep. Jail. This was sus in the 70s and the 80s, Britain. Understand this. This is my experience. And based on my experience and my record of you, I've been in the police station with a policeman with his foot up on the desk, reading, it was a Beano, it was a comic called a Beano. And then one of his superiors coming down the corridor, foot off and then all of it pretending that he's working. These are the heroes, the heroic. I was in the police station when the police sergeant took a big black book, and I was 11 years old. And he hit me so hard on top of my head with the book that it felt like he had broken my neck. And I saw stars in front of my eyes. This was the abuse that I've experienced. So don't tell me about your heroic police and their lying, wicked selves. You love to kill. I could tell you a story. I'm going to close. I'll tell you a story. Because I did. See, and what you got to understand, beloved, this individual who they say is a terrorist who they killed, he was convicted previously of conspiracy or plotting. But I'm just asking you, what if he wasn't really plotting? What if he was fitted up? What if he went to prison for something that he believes he never did? Because if you study what's going on with the FBI and MI5 and a lot of these so-called terrorism cases, you see that a lot of these people are patsies. And a lot of them have been set up by agents within the security forces in the first place, and then they spring a trap on them. And in America, a lot of these cases, they're the cases of pure entrapment. But what if, when he got those 16 years, why was the original sentence quashed? There must be a reason why they quashed the original sentence. Then they gave him 16 years, and then he served half, which is how everybody operates in this country. Wasn't nothing special to him. But what if, like me, when he came out, he was embittered? What if, like me, when I came out, I did get into crime because I started to believe the hype. I started to believe the criminalization of myself. And so I did become a criminal. And I ended up carrying guns. And I was then convicted of having a gun. But that's because in my young, immature, childlike mind, when I was doing my crime, I actually felt like I was getting revenge on society. Not realizing that I was only harming myself. Well, what about some of these young, impressionable, so-called Muslims who haven't got a clue about what real Islam is? And somebody's whispering in their ear, and now they're going to do something about the West. Injustice. And then the trap is sprung. But let me just close on this. All is not what it seems. We are being played. The British public are being played. They've been taken for fools. And I'm warning all of us, understand this. This enemy is wicked, and he intends to prevent Jeremy Corbyn by any means necessary. That's his terminology. Jeremy Corbyn must never enter that office, because his proposal is to, and I personally don't believe that even if Jeremy went in there that he could do anything, because it's a whole system that he would be confronted with that he would have to change. And even within his own party, he's got traitors and agents who are just waiting for another opportunity to try to oust him so that they can get back to business as usual. And so this is their last chance. It's their last chance in America with Trump, the one they don't like. But I'm saying, beloved, as I close, none of it, whether it's Brexit, whether it's, this coming election, none of it is our real concern. Our concern is to give freedom, justice, and equality to one another, to come together, to build that precious army of God, to stand resolute in the face of evil, and to do something for ourselves, and to win back the love and the trust of our women and our children. That's what we're charged with the responsibility of doing, family. And I ask you, in the name of Allah, to begin to make a supreme effort as we approach 2020, that year, 2020, will not see us trying to attach ourselves or affix ourselves to that which is dying. But see us attaching and affixing ourselves more firmly to the living God. And allow ourselves to become the great people that we once were. The scripture says, as it was in the beginning, so shall it also be in the ending. May Allah bless you as I greet you in peace. Assalamu alaikum. Please welcome.